Underage drinking in Oklahoma costs taxpayers just under $1 billion a year. That's the price tag for medical care, lost work, and a host of other problems that stem from alcohol abuse by young people. The Oklahoma Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services is 1 year into a new effort aimed at prevention of alcohol abuse by people under 21, and they believe it's starting to work.
There are about 151,000 underage drinkers in Oklahoma, and the statistics show they get started very early.
Kids in Oklahoma begin drinking between the ages of 12 and 13 years of age. That needs to change. It needs to change for the health of our kids. It needs to change for the future of our state.
Jeff Dismukes is a spokesman for the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services. He is also involved in the agency's Too Much to Lose program, which involves a task force approach to reducing the incidence of underage drinking. Part of the effort involves education.
There is education and training that happens with servers and retailers so that we can help them understand the importance of these issues.
Dismukes says with their new approach, any establishment that sells any kind of alcohol should know well what the law is on selling to underage kids.
The bottom line is substance abuse still costs this state a great deal of money, and regardless of where we are compared to anybody else in any certain category, it's about what happens to the people of Oklahoma. That's what we're concerned with.
Another part of the task force is law enforcement, and that's where Lieutenant Dan Stowe of the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office comes in. He heads a group of deputies who target retail outlets that sell alcohol to see if they are following the law. In the last 12 months, the task force has done more than 1,200 compliance checks with the help of underage kids who volunteer to try and buy booze.
Our initial stats that we came up with was about 85% compliance. Over the past year, we've seen a raise in that compliance rate to over 90%, and we've conducted a little over 1,200 compliance checks in the last year.
Lieutenant Stowe says he has heard all kinds of reasons why someone made the decision to sell alcohol to a person who does not meet the age requirements.
I'm busy, I'm behind, I'm trying to get caught up, but at the end of the day, they're responsible for each one of those sales, and it's their job to make sure that every bit of alcohol that they sell is to a person who can legally purchase it.
Beer is readily available at convenience and grocery stores across the state, but Lieutenant Stowe doubts that is what prompts a young person to decide to start drinking alcohol.
Peer pressure from other friends played a huge role in why one person who may or may not today would make a conscious decision to drink alcohol, but tomorrow because he got around those friends and they're out doing these things.
For Meredith and Nate, alcohol is not part of their social or private life. They are volunteers for the task force who go into retail outlets to try and buy alcohol. Nate sees it as an effort to help his community.
People have come to our school drunk and stupid. They do dumb things. There was one time when 5 people, all drunk at our school, got into a fight.
Meredith is an athlete and is interested in a career in law enforcement. She is now 18 years old and says many people she knows drink regularly.
I think it's very easy for underage kids to get alcohol because a lot of people I know, I don't know them very well, but I'll hear them speaking and they're talking about all the alcohol that they got. And I'm like, how did you get that? And they're just like, we just walked into the store and I had a friend and this stuff, and it's just they know somebody so they could get it.
On a recent hot afternoon, Nate and Meredith, along with Lieutenant Stowe and one of his top task force members, drove through parts of Oklahoma City looking for targets to check for compliance. When they found one, Nate went in first.
Hello, sir. ID? Oh. Oh, it's stuck. There you go. Thank you, sir.
Meredith was confident someone would sell her alcohol because she looks older and because she's female.
I'm gonna put my beer on the counter and see if they ask for my ID. If they do, I'm gonna tell them I'm 18. I'll see if I can get them to sell it to me anyway.
Meredith got her chance more than once, walking into a store with Lieutenant Stowe not far behind to witness what happens once inside. She got beer from the cooler like an old pro and walked confidently to the counter to make the purchase.
What's your ID, please?
You're 21? Yes.
No, I'm 18, sorry.
25?
18.
1994.
18. I'm 18.
No. You are not
I'm 18.
allowed.
On this outing, none of the store clerks took the bait. Lieutenant Stowe says that is becoming rather common, and when a store owner does the right thing, they formally recognize them for obeying the law. If they go for the sale, Lieutenant Stowe also has something for them besides a pair of handcuffs.
If we find someone that does sell alcohol, not only are we going to go in and tell them that, hey, you have violated the law, this is how you did it, but we give them information to keep them from doing it again in the future.
The latest statistics show Oklahoma still has a big problem with underage drinking. Of students in grades 9 through 12, over 71% had at least one drink on one or more days during their life. Nearly 20% had their first drink before age 13. Nearly 40% had a drink in the past 30 days, and just under 4% had at least one drink on school property in the most recent 30 days of school. So if kids are still readily getting alcohol, and enforcement efforts are making that more difficult, where's the liquor and beer coming from?
As many or more kids actually are getting alcohol from parents or family friends, family members.
And for some young people, making the choice to drink has been the last decision they ever made.
24 kids last year died because of alcohol in car crashes. Almost 200 were arrested for DUI.
According to a report prepared last year by the Pacific Institute for Research and Evaluation, underage drinkers in Oklahoma were involved in 28 homicides, more than 15,000 rapes, robberies, and assaults, more than 25,000 property crimes, and more than 13,000 teenagers had risky sex. An estimated 435 teenagers became pregnant. Alcohol and underage drinking is not new, and the Mental Health Department knows if they are making some progress, their work is still far from over.
Because we're doing better doesn't mean that we can stop our efforts. We need to continually address this, because the bottom line is that problems that start when youth begin drinking carry over into an adulthood, and they're more costly to fix by that point.